What is up? I'm Steve. Hope you're doing totally awesome today. So I'm back with another list of 7 famous intros from the 1970s that you can learn really fast. They're pretty easy and you will turn heads. People will be like, yeah, I know that song. That dude can rock. So let's do it. I'm gonna waste no more time. Quit yapping, hit like, hit subscribe, and let's go. So the first one here, as we count down from 7 down to number 1, is Listen to the Music. This is Doobie Brothers from 1972, an E major. And instead of playing a regular E major, you put your finger on the 9th fret up here, on the A string, and all the way down to the high strings right there, and you leave the open E like this, and go hammer it on to the 11th fret. So you're hammering that 11th finger, 9th fret to the 11th fret of the A string, like this. But because you're putting your whole finger down, that's like the bar chord of an E major. It goes like this. And you're not really hitting those high notes you can see here. I'm just sort of like, hitting them barely with my finger. So you go, again, 9th fret of the A string, and hammer onto that 11th fret, like that, and then go. And you gotta do a lot of palm muting or pop it like this, like that. So practice that over and over again, and then after that part, you simply move strings here on the 9th fret. You're hitting the open A now, and if you can use this thumb to sort of mute that string a little bit to keep from hitting that low E note, you go. So you got the finger here on the 9th fret again of the D, G, and B string. Same thing as again, but you go like that. So you're going from the 9th fret to the 11th fret of the D string, like that. And this one is going from the 9th fret to the 10th fret of the B string. And you're hitting that G on the 9th. So here are the notes. You're basically going up to an A major right here, but it's a different version of it. So the open A string, and like that. And when you do it like that, hammer it on, pull them both off, and you're back here to the 9th fret. So it's not that hard. See, I'm doing this, but I'm not hitting that high note. Like that. All right, let's go to the next one. This is number 6, Fly By Night by Rush. Ready? Very cool. So this one's in D major. No capo needed either on this one, and it's from 1975, of course. Give the D major a couple clicks right there. Then lay this finger down here on the 3rd fret of the E and B strings, and you go to an A major. The rest of it is an A major with your finger here, right here on the 2nd fret of the D and G strings. So when you do those plus the A, it does this note, or this chord right there. So one more time, D. It's basically an A major, regular A major, with the 3rd fret of the B and the E strings. Then it does this little walk up, starting from the open A string, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and you're really going to a C major, but you want to play it like this. So you've got this finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, this one on the 2nd fret of the D string, and this 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. So and you're picking like that. And remove these 2 fingers and put this one on the 2nd fret of that A string. And now there's 2 ways to do it. There's the real way and the easy way. Let me show you the real way. Is move this finger down to the 1st fret of that A string and use a pinky on that same 3rd fret of the B string. And then you go to an A major like that. I'll show you that in a second. The easier way to do it is when you go like this. You really just hit the low note. You don't worry about the pinky like that. So you go. If you do that really fast, no one will notice that you didn't hit that note with your pinky right there. And then when you go to the A major, like that, you're basically just playing an A major, removing the B string, like that, and back to D. And again, the easy way, really fast. It'll be great. All right, let's move to number 5, My Sharona by the Knack from 1979. Ready? Very cool. This one's super memorable. 1979. So you're in G major, and you want to do this octave thing. You're on the 3rd fret of the E string to the 5th fret of that D string. Now, to get it right, you're probably gonna have to spend more time looking at your right hand. Normally you're looking over here at this area of the fretboard, but to make sure you don't hit that string right there in the middle, that A string, go like this. Now I'm not palm muting over here, I'm just sort of lifting these up. Watch this finger right here after I hit the notes on that string. See, I'm sort of lifting them up, and that way doesn't ring out too long. And after that little set, you go down 1 fret on that E string and slide it in like that. Then you go to what's really a C major down to B flat. So you could bar it like this. That's probably the right way to do it. Or you could do what I did in the beginning, is just don't even hit the low notes, just go. So I'm going from the 3rd fret of the D, G, and B strings, 5th fret down to the 3rd fret. Or you can again do a bar chord of a C major chord and go. That's a really good way to do it because then you get the low notes. So again, C to B flat all together. Super cool. All right, let's move on to number 4. This is Simple Man by Leonard Skinner from 1974. I'm going to play it in A minor, even though they play it down half a step, but we're not going to tune all the strings down to A flat. Let's do it in A minor. Very cool. So, it's hard to get it exactly like the record because they skip around a lot of strings, but we'll give it a shot. So you start here with an open A string and go up to the 2nd fret and then the 3rd fret of that A string. And that's a little walk up that brings you to a C major. And when you do the C major, you can do it like this, like that, or so. However you do it, you try to just hit, that note right there and hit the 1st fret, that part of the C major at that moment. Just sort of listen to the record and, pick around the C chord. Then it goes to a G major. And it's just doing the lower notes of the G major right there. So that's why I don't even have this finger on there, because I'm not hitting the high ones. Then it goes to an A minor. This. So A minor, and then you put your pinky on the 3rd fret of that high E string. And right when you do that, and maybe hit that B string again, part of the A minor, walk it up again. That's pretty cool. When you go to the G, you hammer on from the open A to the 2nd fret right there on that A string and back to the A minor. So I personally feel if you just sort of hit any strings as you're doing these chords, you'll sound great. Somebody may go, that's not exactly like the record, but you can tell them to haul it. All right, let's move on to number 3 with Free, the band Free from 1970. It's All Right Now. This one's really fun to play. It's an A major and I'm just hitting a straight up A major. I'm using my thumb to mute that string just so I don't go, which won't sound good. Just use your thumb to mute it. And I'm also not really hitting the high E string, so neither of these, and you're just going like that. So give it one strum, and then put your palm on there to palm mute it, and go like this. So this one's really cool. Again, you got your finger on the 2nd fret of the D, G, and B strings, and then you put this finger on the 4th fret of the D, and this one on the 2nd fret of the B. And when you're still here, you're hitting the open, the 2nd fret of the G string, like that. So it goes. It's basically going from an A to a D major, but in a creative way. So you go. So all together again, A, and I hit that open A note right there, and then go right there. So again, 4th fret of the D, 3rd fret of the B string, and that 2nd fret of the G string. Isn't that beautiful? And if you do them with power and good, palm muting, hear that? I'm also doing it to give it a little break right there, a little rhythm. And then you hit the open A string, and now this one's pretty cool. You hit those same notes, but you're doing it with different fingers. So put this finger on the 3rd fret of that B string, and this one on the, we'll start here. 5th fret of the D. So you're hitting the open A, 5th fret of the D string, open G string, and the 3rd fret of the B string. And I'm probably, again, trying not to hit this string or this string, the low or high E notes, and going. This one's really cool. So you, again, all those notes I just said, 3rd of the B, 5th of the D, but then go down to the 4th of that D string. Creates this cool, memorable little thing, and back up to the 5th. And back to the A chord. But when you do it sort of fast and, with emotion and power, it goes like this. Like that. All right, coming in at number 2, this is Barracuda by Heart from 1977. And I'll go. If I had a Strat, or something with a big tremolo, big whammy bar, I'd be rocking it right there. But I start here on the 12th fret of the E string, and just sort of give it a pop, like that. Very cool. So 12th to the open E string, so you're in E major, and you go like this. Give it that kind of rhythm right there, that Spanish rhythm. Just practice that for a second. Palm mute, play an E major chord, and hit that low note, maybe the 2nd or 3rd, 4th strings of that. You don't want to go too high like that. Like that. And then after that, very easy. You go 2nd fret of the E string to the 3rd fret of the E string. And that's really a G chord, but you don't play the whole G chord, you just play that low note. And right when you do that, slide up, go back to the 12th fret, play a harmonic, which is when you put your finger, just lay it on top of that, 12th fret, right here, just right on top, sort of hit either all the strings or the middle strings, and then do the same thing on the 5th fret, like that, 5th fret of that one. You could do the 7th fret, but the 5th fret harmonic, and wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. And then you're ready to rock by bringing in that hit from the 12th down to the open E one more time. All right, and at number 1, everybody knows this one. It's Boston from 1976 with More Than a Feeling. Here we go. This one's very beautiful. It begins with a D major right in here, and you're hitting the open D, and just walking up those notes of the D major chord. But whether you use your pinky or this finger like I do, put it on the 3rd fret of the high E string, and then down to the 2nd fret into a traditional D major. And now you start walking it down like that. So, okay, sorry, hit that note on accident. I'll give you all the notes. So there's that D major, and you can hit any note right here. Maybe that's the best thing to do, is sort of walk it all the way down to those 3 notes of the D. Then you go into a C major, but it's a modified C major. Again, we've done it earlier in this lesson here. Instead of a regular C major, you're hitting the 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, and you still keep this finger planted on the 3rd fret of the B, like that. So, like that. Go down 1 finger. Again, you're removing these 2, going down 1 fret to the 2nd fret of the A string. So you've got the 2nd fret of the A, open D, open G, and 3rd fret of that B string. And then you just put this finger right here on the 3rd fret of the E string, and now you have a G major chord. Like that. So I'm going to play it really slowly, and then we'll do it fast. So D, C, G, and right in between is sort of like a B note right there. And that is really fun. A lot of fun right there with More Than a Feeling. Let me know what you think about these 7. Hit like and hit subscribe if it's helpful, and give me some more ideas for more videos like this one. I've done a bunch of intro videos along with some stuff on like famous choruses and a million 3-minute lessons. So hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you around the channel. See ya.